So the last time we saw this project, it was a little different. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Better late than never. Yeah, the last time we saw my 00 scale lady, she was not only unpowered, but really only sat on a pug chassis, completely without proper power. It wasn't a project I was very proud of. Well, recently I decided that was a project I'd come back to, and maybe retry, and, well, there's a lot to talk about, as you can see. Might be best we just jump into it. So, believe it or not, this is the same lady you saw from the first video, but I never ended up finding that old pug chassis, so rest in peace, I guess. This would overall start as a sort of fluke, though, when I decided to cut down my build chassis, even more than it already was, which was a pain. It was at some point during that I remembered I had the Ertl lady somewhere in my storage. So pretty quickly I went and got that, and not only did I end up having to do a stupid amount of cutting from the chassis, but from lady as well. Yeah, sadly most of the back of her cab area and well, there wasn't much of the floor from the last time anyway, but even more of that as well. Eventually, I found another problem with the build chassis, and that came down to the overall motor size. It just didn't really work well inside of Lady. It also showed horribly. So for this, I went to my spare bin, and it just so happened I had the motor from a Rustin 48. Yeah, the really small diesels from Hornby. It just so happened the one I had horrible pickups, and, well, the motor was fine. So I took that out and put that on the build chassis, and here we are now. Now, sadly, the motor does still kind of show in the cab, but truth be told, it's puny. It's a lot better than the last one, so I'll still take it. And pretty quickly, that was sat on plastic card and glued in place. Now, overall, if this is something you want to do, I can't really recommend gluing the motor in place since it's not always the safest. But I do have to say, if you have a proper overall glue, it does work pretty well. I mean, I haven't had a problem with Lady so far. When it came to the chassis, that was pretty much all I had to do. When it came to the body, however, things got a bit more complicated. So Lady herself was dropped into a paint removing mix. This was, I'm pretty sure, nail polish remover and just a good paint stripper. Yeah, sadly I can't remember off the top of my head what exactly I used, but I mean, as you can see, it did work pretty quickly, and overall did give some cool results. Around this point, the face was also dremeled out, but we'll get to that later. So with Lady in complete metal and then soon primed, I realized I had a couple of options here. You know, maybe the classic Thomas and the Magic Railroad livery, but truth be told, that did feel a bit easy, like something you would expect to see. I figured I'd do my own thing, it'd be more fun anyway. So pretty quickly, Lady was put into her overall livery, that being a royal purple with black accents. Well, not just black, I don't think you can make Lady without the gold smoke box, so that was added too. When it came to finishing her overall running board, I also realized the Ertl buffers just weren't doing it. They didn't really look like buffers at all. Pretty quickly, those were removed as well, and replaced with other ones from my spare bin, these being the buffer beams from a Peckett. But let's be honest, Lady was still missing something. You can't really have Lady without her name, or just something on the side of the tanks. So for this, I went to my reserve of water slide decals, but sadly, nothing in cursive. I did have some very small yellow lettering though, and just for fun and potential world building since she's already, you know, an alternate livery, I decided to privatize her. It says Stone Limited on the side, and I imagine that's a nod to Burnett Stone. Kinda like he runs his own thing, and Lady's one of his engines. What did kinda suck was when I tried to use this decal sheet, for some reason it just did not have E's on it. I guess I used those at some point in the past. So to get around this, I used B's and cut off the rounded ends of them to turn them into E's. It could be worse. I can't say that looks too bad. Some scrap plastic was cut down and added to her windows after being sprayed with a matte clear coat. And let's be honest, you should have seen this coming, you know me. I had to weather her just a little bit. So I got some coal dust powder and just a little bit of gray from Dave's, mixed that together and applied that in the crevices and just wherever I thought worked on the model. Now, in the end, this wasn't something I wanted to overdo, you know, or really compromise the livery I put her in, but so what? I do think it's a little heavy on the back, but It's a steam train. These things happen. Overall, I don't think it takes away too much. Now, sadly for a little bit, I actually lost one of the back buffers for her Peckett buffer beam. She used very small spare ones I got from a wagon. I think at this point, it was maybe 2 days ago, I was just sitting on a Discord call and Rosie brought it straight to me. I guess maybe she took it, or it was somewhere on the floor. So I took that, cleaned it, sanded it, did whatever I needed to do, and pretty quickly it was reattached to Lady. And I think we can all agree, just trust me, it needed it. Those last buffers just were not doing it. This saved the day. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you. Clutch. Just absolutely clutch. Trust me. Now, originally the plan was to glue a hook and loop coupler to the back of Lady, but overall that just didn't really work and wouldn't have been very strong in the first place. I ran out of that good glue I used for the motor. And by that I mean I left the lid on it and it dried out, but we're not going to talk about that. So to get around that, I also added 3 links to the back buffer beam. And I think that covers everything but the face, so let's jump on that real quick. Now, the face you're seeing here was designed by Rexecutions and worked on just a little bit by TrainStorm. Not only did he beautifully print it for me, but also had to make the eyeballs not there on the... You know what I'm saying. But pretty quickly, he had those sent to me, and I got right on painting them. Now, truth be told, this is a process that takes a little bit. I had to prime these several times, and also sand it just a little bit to get the finish I really wanted. I used a very small paintbrush to paint her mouth and a paint pen for her eyebrows. And truth be told, the lipstick was kind of a fluke. I was more curious if I could add it, used a little bit of red paint, and it worked. Look at that. I was kind of proud. After that, I figured, why not? I mean, she's already so industrial, why not spruce it up a bit? And I think, with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we are with this 00 scale lady. She is finally done and under her own power. But hey, I've kept you waiting on this project for 2 years. Instead of me telling you, let me just show you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for even more train content. There's always more stuff on the way. And on the chance you'd ever want to see videos like this or projects like this early, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description. You'll also join these beautiful people on screen and a shout out in each video. Now, really quick, I do have a odd question and comment down below if you agree with me. Just something about Lady feels very Era 1, am I right? Like if I got her some Cauldron cars or just something like that, I think that would, I'm probably going to go that route with her consist, but I don't really know. Be sure to comment down below if you agree or maybe have other ideas. See, this is why I knew making Stone Limited would be a little bit dangerous, because now I have to make other, she can't be alone in that roster. She needs not only a consist, but probably other engines to join her in her escapade. You know what I'm talking about? The modelers, this stuff never ends. This took 2 years. You know what? You know what? We're here now. That's all that matters. We made it. It's not about how you got here. It's about the fact we made it, brother.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.